we have witnessed the horrors of 2 world wars. Today, the prospect of a third world war casts a long shadow. Nuclear weapons changed warfare forever. Nuclear arsenals have grown, creating a balance of terror. Modern warfare includes cyber, biological, and AI threats. These tools impact civilians and infrastructure. What can we do to prevent it? The future depends on diplomacy and cooperation. The most immediate and devastating consequence of any war is the loss of human life. World War III, with its advanced weaponry, would likely result in casualties on an unprecedented scale. Millions, perhaps billions, could perish in the initial conflicts and their aftermath. Mass displacement, as seen in countless conflicts throughout history, would become a defining feature of this global war. Entire populations would be uprooted, forced to flee their homes in search of safety and security. The refugee crisis would reach unimaginable proportions, overwhelming nations ill-equipped to handle the influx. The psychological toll of war cannot be underestimated. The trauma experienced by soldiers and civilians alike would leave lasting scars on individuals, families, and entire societies. The loss of loved ones, the destruction of homes and communities, and the constant fear and uncertainty would erode the social bonds that hold us together. The economic ramifications of a third world war would be nothing short of catastrophic. Global trade, the engine of our interconnected world, would grind to a halt. Supply chains would collapse, leading to widespread shortages of food, medicine, and other essential goods. Infrastructure, the backbone of any modern society, would be targeted and destroyed on a massive scale. Power grids, transportation systems, communication networks, and water treatment facilities, all essential for daily life, would be crippled or destroyed, plunging nations into chaos and despair. The financial markets, already volatile and prone to panic, would experience an unprecedented meltdown. Currencies would collapse, investments would evaporate, and savings would become worthless. The long-term economic consequences would be equally dire. In the aftermath of a global conflict, survival would become the paramount concern for individuals and communities alike. The immediate priorities would be securing basic necessities: food, water, shelter, and medical care. Those who had the foresight to prepare for such a scenario would be best positioned to weather the storm. Stockpiling non-perishable food items, potable water, first aid supplies, and essential medications would be crucial. Learning basic survival skills such as fire starting, water purification, and basic first aid could mean the difference between life and death. Creating a network of trusted individuals, family, friends, and neighbours would be essential for support and resource sharing. Cooperation and community spirit would be more important than ever in the face of adversity. Learning to adapt to a new way of life, one marked by scarcity and uncertainty, would be paramount. Section 5. Picking up the pieces, a changed world. The world that emerges from the ashes of World War III would be vastly different from the one we know today. The geopolitical landscape would be redrawn, with new alliances and rivalries emerging from the ashes. The balance of power would shift, with some nations rising from the ashes, while others are left weakened and vulnerable. The global order, based on international institutions and agreements, would likely be in tatters. The very nature of warfare, having witnessed the horrors of advanced weaponry, may undergo a fundamental transformation. The threat of mutually assured destruction, ever present during the Cold War, could lead to a renewed emphasis on diplomacy, deterrence, and arms control. The environmental consequences of a global conflict, often overlooked amidst the immediate concerns of war, would be profound and long-lasting. Section 6. Will there be a winner? A hollow victory. In a global conflict, can there truly be a winner? Victory seems inadequate amid such destruction and suffering. Even with military success, the cost is immeasurable. The world would face the daunting task of rebuilding. Economic, social, and environmental impacts would last generations. A Third World War victory would be a hollow achievement. True success is preventing such a conflict. Section 7. Echoes of War. The long road to recovery. The road to recovery from a Third World War would be long and arduous. Rebuilding shattered infrastructure, healing the psychological wounds of war, and restoring trust between nations would be monumental tasks, requiring global cooperation and unwavering commitment. The international community would need to come together, setting aside past grievances and rivalries to address the humanitarian crisis, rebuild shattered economies, and create a more stable and peaceful world order. The lessons learned from previous conflicts, particularly the importance of international cooperation and the rule of law, would be more crucial than ever. The development and implementation of innovative technologies, particularly in the fields of renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and environmental remediation, would be essential for rebuilding a more resilient and equitable world. The sharing of knowledge and resources between nations would be paramount. Section 8. Preventing the unthinkable. A shared responsibility. The prevention of a Third World War is not the sole responsibility of governments and international organizations. It is a shared responsibility that falls on all of us as citizens of this planet. We must be vigilant in recognizing and challenging the conditions that can lead to conflict, such as nationalism, militarism, and the pursuit of narrow self-interests. Promoting diplomacy and dialogue as the primary means of resolving international disputes is paramount. Supporting organizations and initiatives that promote peace, disarmament, and international understanding is crucial. By amplifying the voices of peace and advocating for policies that reduce the risk of conflict, we can contribute to creating a more peaceful and just world. By fostering empathy, understanding, and a commitment to non-violent conflict resolution, we can help break the cycle of violence that has plagued humanity for far too long. Section 9. The future we choose. Lessons from the past. The future is not preordained. We have a choice to make. We can choose to continue down a path of mistrust, competition, and aggression, a path that has led to untold suffering and destruction throughout history. Or we can choose a different path, one grounded in cooperation, diplomacy, and a shared commitment to building a more peaceful and just world. The lessons of history, etched in the countless lives lost and the enduring scars of conflict, offer a stark warning. We must learn from the mistakes of the past, embracing the principles of diplomacy, cooperation, and the peaceful resolution of disputes. The choice is ours. Section 10. Conclusion. A plea for peace. The prospect of a Third World War is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present potential for human folly. The consequences of such a conflict would be devastating, not just for the nations involved, but for all of humanity and the planet we call home. But amidst the darkness, there is hope. We have the capacity for reason, compassion, and cooperation. Let us heed the lessons of history, embracing diplomacy, dialogue, and the peaceful resolution of disputes. The future of humanity